Okay, good afternoon. As promised, we are bringing you up to date on what is going on in our weather this afternoon for you here across the area. Thank you to everybody for joining us here this afternoon. I'm going to repeat a few things over and over to let you know because you are actually watching us. Folks are watching us right now live via our 24-hour weather channel, also online there through our KTBS website as well as YouTube, as well as Facebook there for you on @Weatherman Patrick, also KTBS, and also our KTBS Mega 3 weather page as well. So I point all that out to you because I know some of you are going to end up having questions sometimes about the weather, and you'll go on Facebook, you'll ask the questions. Well, the thing of it is that I'm not seeing these because we're doing these just as if we're doing a live broadcast right now for you that we normally do on one of our regular stations. But we want to bring you up to date, so I'll talk a little bit about what is going on and what the potential is still for this afternoon. I'm watching the weather situation. Joe Haynes is watching the weather situation. So our job throughout this afternoon and or early evening hours is to keep you informed about what is taking place. Before we look at the graphics, I just want to go over a few things with you. Number one, if you've been following us online, this is a conditional weather event. Now, we are starting to see storms develop right now. Some areas are going to have a much better chance than others, but I want to emphasize to you that you may go for a while without seeing anything, and some of you may not see anything at all. But the areas that do see the worst of the storms, we could be talking about storms that can produce high winds. You've already seen gusty winds today, but we're talking about 30, 40 mile per hour winds even without the storms. And you could be talking about 60, 70 mile per hour winds along the line of storms themselves. And we're going to watch them throughout the afternoon, bringing you the very latest imaging as well with our Willis Knight Mega 3 live Doppler radar. But here's the deal. These storms are going to develop so fast in some areas, and if they get a little spin in the atmosphere, it's what we call a QLCS, and and I'll explain that to you in a few moments, is that these storms can form so fast and may have rotation, and by the time you see it, it's gone. And so they are that fast as far as what we're seeing there with any storm development taking place. So let me show you right now what's going on there. We can go take a look at our graphics right now. So what you see is a tornado watch. It's been issued valid until 9 o'clock this evening for a good chunk of the Arklatex, with the exception of Toledo Bend country, around Sabine County, Sabine Parish, Natchitoches Parish. Now, could those areas be included later? It's possible. We're going to watch and see. But where are we seeing storms right now fire up across areas of the Arklatex? We're going to go up to the northern parts of our region. We're talking about the McCurtain County area. And this is important for us to watch and see what happens in this area, because this here line develops. Question of it is, how far south does it start to develop? Why is it going to have trouble developing further south, or why could it? It's because the atmosphere is capped. There's a layer of air there that we have to be able to penetrate through to be able to get these storms to erupt and form. And it's a little more difficult the further south that you go, but it is possible. But this is what we're looking at right now with the storms that we do have across areas of the Arklatex. We're going to reposition this. I will tell you, if you know anybody out there on Broken Bow Lake, and I'm going to flip back and forth between some things, and we're going to go right there live right now and show you this. This is Broken Bow Lake. There are folks out there on the lake right now. If you know somebody there in southeast Oklahoma at Beavers Bend State Park, Broken Bow Lake, let them know that a line of thunderstorms are about to move through. They have the potential to become severe. They're not right now, but that area there, and I'll keep an eye on it for you, and we'll continue to show you this live as well, is about to be hit by some storms in that region. So we're going to jump back over, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about right now. It's this line of storms right through here, getting ready to move over areas as we zoom in for you as well. And we'll put a little street level mapping on it and show you this also that you're able to notice here as you get up around the Hochatown area too. So we're going to go in there and let you see some of the roads. It's already there on the western side of the lake. It's on US 259 as well. And it's getting ready to move over the lake also. So that is what you have going on. Makes it a little difficult to see. I'm going to turn off our watches right now. Now you can see the roads a little bit better there as far as it getting ready to move over the Broken Bow Lake area and move over towards Hochatown. So keep that in mind. Let anybody know up in that area. We are seeing frequent lightning strikes with these storms. And just to let you know, too, when it comes to severe weather, we stay in touch with the National Weather Service in Shreveport, and we are monitoring them as well. So we basically have almost a direct link to them sending out updates to us so that we can monitor things to see what could be going on. And what they're watching for is the same thing we are, is to see what happens with this line of storms. And I'll put it in motion for you so you can see it. What's going to happen with it as it develops. Now, watch how quickly they develop. So that just shows you there the cap in the atmosphere is not as strong. And there's very warm air out in front of this front that's not helping out things either. And so now these storms are starting to form. So the question of it is, how strong will they get? Let's take a look at a few factors here. We'll stop this map here. We'll take a look at our threat. Now, right now, I'm not picking up any particular threats, but that may change with our threat detector as we work our way on through areas of the afternoon hours. As far as any velocity, the threat did pop up there. We'll go back to it. I'm not seeing anything on storm relative velocity scans. That is what we like to look at to see if we see any rotation, anything that is going on. And we're not seeing any type of circulation at this very moment. We'll go back to our threats. So what is this pointing out to me? So what this shows me as we're able to look here with our live Doppler radar is to take a look to see if it's producing any type of threats. And in this case here, it's going to be brief heavy rainfall, lightning strikes, and it may have half-inch size hail. Now, a lot of times when it detects the hail, that's elevated. It may melt, of course, before it makes its way down towards the ground. So that is what we're looking at there to see if we have hail in these storms. And right now, it shows us that we are seeing some hail likely in these storms here as we see them move on across the area. So we're going to go back over here, take that off the screen for you, let you see the very latest as far as where it is. Again, it's heading towards the community, the town of Broken Bow, also Idabel. At the same time, we'll put it in motion, give us a little bit of a better idea of the trajectory of these cells as they're moving on across this area. Now, we don't have any special weather statements out on these particular storms here for us. Actually, we do have one. Matter of fact, here, I'll plot it up on the screen. We sometimes don't put these up there, but I'm going to do this case. So what this is, and unfortunately, it can be very misleading sometimes if it's going to pop up there for us. Let's go. There you go. So what this is what they call a special weather statement. So what is it? It's sort of like a step down below a severe thunderstorm warning. It's the Weather Service letting us know that there's a cell there, and that we see it too, that they're watching, these couple of cells that they're seeing here. Now, these cells could produce 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. They could end up producing penny-sized hail. We just showed you talking about the hail just a second ago. And I said it's a half an inch, but again, a lot of it's going to melt before it ever reaches the ground there. Now, these particular cells here, there's a couple of them there that we're watching there. You got one up there getting ready to move over the lake. You got another one getting ready to move over and on the north side of Idabel. And again, these storms are moving east at about 50 miles per hour. So if that is the case, moving east at 50 miles per hour, we'll go and we'll put a little track on some of these storms. Matter of fact, we have a little marker there that we're going to go click on and let you see. So that storm there, it has it making its way towards Buck Creek Landing. That's going to be a little ways away there for you by 3:35. But around Hochatown area at around 3:18, it's approaching Hochatown right now, okay? Because it puts Hochatown on the other side of the lake there for some reason or another. It's actually on the west side of the lake. And so, again, we are going to watch this cell moving across Hochatown at this moment. Now, look at the top left. The top left shows us it's a storm moving at 36 miles per hour. It's a top of 31,000 feet, so it's a pretty tall storm up there. There's a decent shot if it's producing hail at 100%. Now, I'm saying severe hail at about 30%. It says 3/4 of an inch. I really think it's probably not going to be that big. However, things could start to intensify as we work our way into this afternoon. So we'll plot that off the map there for you and get that off. So now I'm going to go and put basically sort of a squall line, even though these are broken cells. We're going to go right down through here. Now we're going to take this one and do it off to the east too. If it's moving at about 30 miles per hour or so, this shows you where it should be moving here over the next little while and moving its way on off to the east. Again, this shows just going to be making its way towards the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line, crossing over from McCurtain County over into southwest Arkansas. And again, this storm is probably going to intensify. I would not be shocked at all. We probably are going to get a severe thunderstorm warning on this storm at any given moment here if it continues doing what it is doing right now. So I'm going to go turn this off. I know some of you are joining me right now. You're probably further south in other parts of the Arklatex. And as we do so, I'm going to go down here to the south, and I'll just highlight a few areas for you. And I'll talk a little bit about what we could see as we make our way. Now, again, what you're seeing there highlighted in southeast Oklahoma is a special weather statement put out by the National Weather Service, watching these storms to see how they do develop this afternoon. Right now, northeast Texas, you're quiet. South Arkansas, you're quiet. Also, northwest Louisiana, you are quiet. I'll go over the timing of all of this in just a moment, so stay with me. I'll jump to that in just a second. But again, we're probably going to see these storms and more of them start to erupt, probably in areas, and I'm going to highlight what I'm saying is the best chance. They could go further south. They're really going to be where these line of storms are right now, through parts of Texas, and further down to the south and the northwest Louisiana, points off to the east. Now, the worst of it, as far as the best chance for the worst of the severe weather, may end up turning out to be across areas of Arkansas, maybe down towards the Louisiana-Arkansas state line. Now, all this is going to shift to the east, but I'm saying that because in that area there is where the best dynamics are. Now, that doesn't mean they're not anywhere else, but we got to break the cap in the atmosphere in order for us to see these storms develop. Any type of severe weather is possible with these storms, so keep that in mind. Any type of severe weather. Winds could go gusting upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour. You're also going to see a threat for an isolated tornado threat. Not a guarantee, not on the air right now trying to cry wolf or anything like that. I'm just letting you know the worst case scenario as far as what we could be seeing as we work our way through this afternoon. So that's what's going on for right now. So now I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I'm tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to go over here to my regular weather graphics that I have. Whoa, let's go back there, folks. You see the difference it makes? Get off the water right now. This is a live look. That person's getting off the water. If you were with me a few moments ago, it looked nothing like this at all. The water was calm, and now all of a sudden it's drastically changed. You're looking live right now in southeast Oklahoma in the Broken Bow Lake area. And just shows you how rapidly this could go and end up changing with this weather pattern here for you. My technical director's up there, Bree, doing a great job. Bree, I'm going to step over to the wall real quick, so I just want to show folks something, and I'll be right back. You can leave the box up or however you want to do that. I'm fine. So what I want to show you here is, you don't have, there, we have me up there. Okay, so here's the deal. So what you have here is, this is Broken Bow Lake looking off to the east, okay? The storm is coming to the west. So all of this moisture and everything, and the winds are shoving everything this direction. And that is why you're seeing the wave action go this way right here, moving off to the east because the storm is coming in from the west right now. So that is what we are looking at whenever it comes to a live look for you at Broken Bow Lake there in southeast areas of Oklahoma. So I would not want to be out there at all. I'm watching to see severe thunderstorm warning is coming out here shortly from McCurtain County, Sevier County, Howard County, and clipping part of Little River County. So I'm going to show you that in just a bit. I want to stay here on the shot for a moment because it looks like the rain. Oh, look at the, look right there on the left. My mouse, you can see my mouse on the screen there. You're starting to see there a little flapping. We may end up having some debris starting to fly here in just a minute from part of those metal roofs that they have there over the boats there in southeast areas of Oklahoma. Really seeing the winds starting to pick up right now. I'm sorry, Bree, were you saying something to me? I put my mouse on. Yeah, it did stop moving when I put my mouse on it there. So you're seeing the winds there come on through. I'm going to watch and see this for just a moment, but I hope I hope folks have gotten off the water. This is why we always have to say, we've been warning about this for the past 48 to 72 hours. It was a beautiful day earlier on. You wanted to get out on the water, but this is the time that I hope you are off the water there in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. You have a storm with a severe thunderstorm warning coming out on it. It's coming out right now by the National Weather Service for this cell as it's moving across that area. And now you can actually see the winds are almost in different. Look at those winds there coming across. That is some pretty intense stuff right now that we have going on there. Oh, wow, that is really coming down. Matter of fact, I'm going to go here. I'm just scooting over because I want to go and hopefully we're going to keep this camera up for a little while and we don't lose this camera. Wow, look at that, folks. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to turn it and try to give you a little bit of a different perspective. Oh, my gosh. Watch this here. Watch this here as it turns. That is intense. Again, you are looking live right now, Broken Bow Lake, southeast Oklahoma. Why? Severe thunderstorm right here, right now, live television for you, seeing what is going on there and just watching the waves of water just go across that area is just insane watching it. And the winds are no doubt blowing as well. Matter of fact, let's just try to zoom in here to see if I can get a little bit of a better perspective to let you see. We see the trees there. You really don't see a whole lot of movement in the trees, but you can tell that for sure that the winds are blowing there. You see a little bit. They're there in the distance. Some is probably the angle of the shot that I have as well. So we're going to zoom that back out. I wish I had sound on this camera. If we did, man, there'd be no telling what we'd be hearing here at the moment. So we're going to turn it back. This is looking to the west. We're going to turn it to the west. Again, we're waiting for the official severe thunderstorm warning to come out by the Weather Service, but we are showing you this storm live on television right now. And we're going to zip back on across, and I'm going to turn the camera back so it's facing the direction that everything is moving. I think when I move the camera, it's just far more ominous than it is when the camera is still. So there it is right there. Wow. That is quite a storm there that's coming down there in southeast areas of Oklahoma right now. Still waiting for the official storm warning to come out. Let's go take a look at it right now. We're going to go back, and this is what this is not the storm warning, so if I don't mislead you here, I'm going to take this off the screen. What that is a special weather statement. We're waiting for the official warning to come out right now. with this cell. So we're going to zoom in really close to it. I'm going to turn everything in the background off so we can see things better with street level mapping. With this most intense cell moving over the Stevens Gap area, National Weather Service has officially issued this warning right now. We're going to go here and take a look at our threat button. Threat button's not popping up anything at this moment. What about some, as far as, I'm not seeing rotation in it when I look at our storm relative velocity. Threat button going back to it's probably producing some pretty large hail also. That you're able to see there, probably 1 inch size hail, half-inch to 1 inch size hail that we are likely seeing right now with this particular cell. We're going to go back over to our Willis Knighton Mega 3 live Doppler radar, giving you the very latest scan. Very intense storm moving over right now the southern part of Broken Bow Lake. I took the intensity down some because I just want, as far as being able to see it, I want you to see where it's moving over. Beavers Bend Road there on the south side of the lake that you're able to notice there, right along Rock Pile Trail, the Beavers Bend State Park area. Please, 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 anybody up there around Broken Bow Lake area, this is a very strong storm with the strongest of the core that we're picking up on our live Doppler radar on the south side, as you're able to see there as we zoom in. Now, this storm is moving off to the, let me get some particulars on it right now from the National Weather Service as far as we're looking at. This storm could do 60-mile-per-hour winds or higher gust for you. It's moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So if it continues to do at that pace there at 45 miles per hour, and here's the deal. When you got a storm moving that fast, you know the winds are going to be intense and going to be strong as well. So let's put a track on it for you right now and let you see where this cell is and where it's going. If it continues to move in this general direction, it's going to be booking it, folks. And it's going to be making it over into southwest areas of Arkansas. That is the reason why I'm going to go and put back on the screen our watches and warnings and let you see this area here, and we'll plot that up there. And that is the reason why you're seeing the activity that you're seeing moving on through right now. So we'll get this off the screen for you right there. So again, severe thunderstorm warning out. It does include DeQueen. It includes Broken Bow as well. Let's go back live and show you what it does look like there in Broken Bow Lake. The rain is continuing to fall, pour down. And here's the deal. We don't really think there's the greatest threat for the flash flooding threat, but I'm going to tell you, if you get caught in a storm like that, you could very easily have flash flooding occur in a short period of time, because that there can cause problems. Depends on how long it lasts, how heavy it is at any given time. Good news is these storms are going to be moving rather fast, so that's another bit of good news there. The storm's moving fast. But again, you are looking live at this very moment there in southeast Oklahoma. A severe thunderstorm right now. I'm going to tilt it down some just so you can see a little bit. I mean, the rain is just dropping off fast, draining fast on top of the roof there. And again, I hope folks got off the waterway and got off the lake there. It does look like it is trying to taper down some. So matter of fact, let's go back to our Willis Knighton Mega 3 live Doppler radar. And it probably is doing exactly that. As we zoom in for you right now, it does look like that's the case. So it's now moving on the southeast side of the lake, the worst of the cell here, the core of the cell that I'm watching the closest. I'm not picking up any type of scanning as far as velocity scan that I like to look at. There's a little bit, but it's on the back side of where the cell was. So since on the back side there, a lot of times we look on the very leading edge, because what we're going to have to watch for this afternoon, what we're going to watch for as we make our way into the afternoon hours, and we'll go back over here, is we're going to keep an eye when these individual discrete cells at first, they do become a concern. But then we have to watch if it forms a line to see what else pops up. Let's zoom in for you real quick around Ida Belt. So folks there in the Ida Belt area, letting you see, and I will go and we will turn down so we can see through the storm a little bit better and let you see that. And I'm going to go as well and turn off our current watches and warnings, even though you're under severe thunderstorm warning. Very heavy core of the cell is along US 70 on the north side of Ida Belt right now, heading over towards US 259. So where US 70 and 259 come together, you're probably going to have a storm that could produce heavy, heavy rainfall, could probably produce some hail with it, some very gusty winds, probably 50 to 60 miles per hour, and lots of lightning strikes there also. So the good news is it's getting out really fast. Why do I say it's going to get it out there really fast? Let's zoom out here again. Our strongest cell, how do I tell what's the strongest cell sometimes? Lightning intensity. And that's what we're seeing there up in the cell here across areas of the Broken Bow Lake area as we go into it. Now, that's what it looks like there. It's moving now on the eastern side of the lake. So what does it look like from our tower cam that's situated up there? Well, you notice how much it just changed? It's already, the rain's already tapered off. The winds had died down. Now, the winds are still going to probably stay pretty gusty. So they're going to still stay in this area. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk a little bit about the timing of this system overall for us. This is Natchitoches, Louisiana. Breezy down there right now. We're going to go back. This is Broken Bow that you're able to see there. This is Shreveport for us right now. What is going on with Shreveport? Oh, the Shreveport camera is being moved right now. I thought something might have happened to it. Anyway, this is the Shreveport camera right now for you. Zoom it out, Bree, if you're in there, and if you want to do that, zoom it all the way out. So Shreveport, we're going to keep a close eye on what's going on there. Shreveport, your potential to see storms and or severe weather is probably going to be taking place at some point in time this afternoon between 5:30 and 7 o'clock. It really depends upon the movement of this as it makes its way on through. So that's what it looks like there. Texarkana. This is what it looks like in Texarkana. We're going to watch all those things there for you. So we have a red weather alert in place. What are our threats for this afternoon? 70-plus mile-per-hour winds, isolated tornado threats for us that we're going to end up having for you. Hail, I put it on the low end, even though we could see a quarter-inch size hail or higher, and quick downpours that may cause some issues for us this afternoon. As far as weather watches, we currently have a tornado watch in place for a good chunk of the area until 9 o'clock tonight. Now, if you will notice, they're highlighted by the Storm Prediction Center. The orange shaded area there, sort of like my box is in front of, this is an enhanced risk. On a scale of 1 to 5, it's a 3, right smack dab in the middle. I think that the severe weather risk will be the highest in that area. You get to the slight risk, it's very conditional. Now, Shreveport might say, oh, you just said, Patrick, conditional. We may not have anything in Shreveport. That could be. But, I mean, right now we have to keep our guard up. Again, it depends on how much that cap breaks because you're going to see in a minute. You're going to see in a minute that it is possible. As far as the tornado risk, anywhere is possible. Greatest chance, though, right outside of our area off to the northeast. I don't wish that upon anybody. The winds. That's the reason why we have the enhanced risk out for areas of north central Louisiana, south central Arkansas. Because I think as this line picks up and it moves to the east, the risk for the wind threat will start to pick up. The hail threat is there, of course, not quite as great overall. So that's what's going on. Let's talk a little bit about timing because I know that's the thing everybody has questions about. So what you're looking at here is our high resolution forecast model. Okay, so we're going to watch this afternoon. I know it's already after 3 o'clock. The front. So it really and truly, it has the front a little further ahead than probably where it actually is. Matter of fact, here, I'm going to do some cleaning up here for us. We're going to go and we're going to take the front surface analysis off. I just don't even need to see that there because we see our line of thunderstorms, okay? So as we work our way through this afternoon, and again, this can fluctuate by an hour to one way or the other. Gives us a good idea. It shows us by 4:30, should start to see more storms develop in the I-30 corridor area stretching from Hope to Texarkana. Maybe we start seeing the cap break there in northeast areas of Texas, okay? So we'll see how that goes and develops for us overall. Now, here's the kicker. Watch what happens. We go 4:35, 5:36. Now what's going on here is trying to think that the cap is going to break all the way down to East Texas then. Again, no guarantee, but that's what the prospects are. That's what we got to forecast for is the worst case scenario. We hope for the best case scenario there. So that's what we're going to look for this afternoon. Will it be for everybody? It really depends on how fast they form. The further south they wait to form, you'll have more discrete cells, and it takes a little while for them to come together as a solid line. That's 5:30. It shows you there. You see the convergence lines, all there near areas south of Magnolia. Right around Shreveport, convergence. You got the winds feeding it up out of the south. You got the northwest winds coming in, and they're battling it out. And so that's what we have to wait and see what happens. 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. So these storms are going to move fast and form fast. By then, indications are, and the possibilities are, we could be dealing with a line of severe storms stretching from areas of south of Nacogdoches near center Texas, up in the vicinity of Shreveport towards Mansfield and Minden into south Arkansas towards Magnolia and El Dorado. We work our way now towards 6:30 p.m. Again, the potential is there for a line of severe storms, strong cells to be taking place in areas there in East Texas, near or south of center Texas, northern part of Toledo Bend, DeSoto Parish area, up towards Ringgold, up towards Homer, moving towards Ruston, heading towards Coshada, places like that. Now we jump towards 7 p.m. Could be dealing with a line of storms there a little further south, northern Sabine Parish, heading towards Zwally, Coshada area, heading into more Bienville Parish up towards Ruston. And then we work our way towards 7:30 p.m., Manny, Natchitoches, Ruston areas there, up towards Farmerville. And that's when after that the storms may move on out of our region. So, folks, we're talking about the storms moving all the way through the Arklatex between now, 3:30, 4 p.m., and out of here in 3.5 hours. What that tells me is this storm system is going to pack some really good winds with them. Whether or not damaging winds, I don't know. Obviously, I hope we don't have that, but that's the potential that we could end up seeing for this afternoon to the early evening hours. Power outages are possible. We'll update you on all of that as well as we work our way through the afternoon hours. So that's what you're looking at as far as the timing. What do we look at when we deal with stuff like this? We look at energy in the atmosphere. There's a lot of energy in that atmosphere in front of that front. Now, as we make our way through the day, the energy that you're looking at there, you see the yellows and the reds, it's a lot of energy there that's flowing up from the south. And it's a convergence zone, and that's helping break the cap as well. But as we work our way through the day, it starts to shift southward because that cold front's coming in, and it's going to push it out of the area. So that's what we're going to be watching for there for later on this evening. Okay, so the other thing to look for, and I look at sometimes too, is we look at lightning intensity. So what you're looking at here, lightning intensity shows me where the thunderstorms are. More lightning we see, the stronger the storm perhaps happens to go and be. So we go through this afternoon, you'll start to see more of those storms develop across East Texas, in the Northwest Louisiana, southern parts of Arkansas this afternoon. So keep all of that in mind for whenever you happen to go and be out there for this afternoon. This is this evening there for you, 6:30 to 7, and then getting on out of here. Now, the other thing we're going to look for are the winds. These winds are going to be crazy. So the winds there that you're seeing out of the south, you see there, they're in the green shaded in the orange there. We're talking about 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. When that front passes, you might get a lull in it, and then all of a sudden those winds are going to switch around out of the northwest going at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So we still may have problems with tree lambs or power outages way after the line of storms have actually moved on through this evening into tomorrow morning. This is 8:30 p.m., 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. That's going to be very tricky to drive in, folks. Very tricky. High-profile vehicles, 18-wheelers, going to have a tough time. The smaller vehicles also are going to have a tough time. But this is through tonight and through tomorrow morning with these very high winds that are expected for us in the Arklatex. Severe thunderstorm warning coming shortly for Franklin, Titus, and extreme southern Red River. Aha, another storm there that is formed while we were looking at the other storms. So this is probably going to start to pick up really and truly fast here. So let's go take a look at that to see what they're talking about there. So we're going to go here. I'm going to zoom out the map. There it is. So what they're thinking of, the cap is starting to break. So we'll pop up there, show you your watch box. There it is. Severe thunderstorm warning just popped up there for this new cell that's developing. Watch how fast it's probably erupted. And I'm going to go again. We're going to remove our watch boxes off because it just makes it easier for me to see some of this stuff for right now. And matter of fact, I'm going to go here. I'm going to remove off the tornado watch. So now that helps you out see things a little bit better. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued now for this part of the Arklatex that you're able to go and end up seeing. So what we're looking at here is this sail. Now, the sail, I'm going to update the track on it for you in just a moment, but I want you to see the particulars. So the sail itself is moving east at 36 miles per hour. It has a height of nearly 30,000 feet, which shows me that it's a pretty big one there for us. So let me see. Yeah, so the new sounding, so the National Weather Service sent up a midday sounding to see what the atmosphere is like above Shreveport to help out with the forecasting. Now, obviously, it's coming back in right now, and there's a pretty strong cap on top of Shreveport right now. Does that mean we're not going to see anything? No. Here's the problem when we say this. The cap makes it take longer to form the storm, but if the cap gets broken, the dynamics are there that we could see some very intense storms. So sort of a trade-off there that we have to look at. But anyway, back to this cell here in northeast Texas. It's moving to the east at about 36 miles per hour. It probably has hail in it, very heavy rainfall, lightning strikes as well. And matter of fact, I'm going to go back over and I will read you some of the stuff here from the Shreveport Weather Service office. Probably estimate ping-pong size hail, 60 mile per hour wind gusts associated with the cell. It is about 9 miles northwest of Mount Vernon. So you see Mount Vernon there on the screen. So let's remove some of this off the screen. Get that off there for you. So that's the cell there near Talco. So we're going to go in a little bit closer. It is in the community of Oakdale right now. It has made its way past Farm Road 900 over there southwest of Oakdale, moving towards Lakeview, Texas, and heading over in that general direction. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. Very heavy rainfall with this sail. So the path of it is to the east-northeast, moving at about 45 miles per hour. And so if it does that, and the sail continues to move through this area, I like to put it a little bit on the far eastern edge of it to be out in front of it some. So that shows us the sail and gives you a little bit of an idea of the communities it could be impacting here between now and 4:20 p.m. Again, you don't want to be outside because this sail could easily turn into something else. We're going to go here, and I'm going to go and we're going to check out to see about storm relative velocity, if we're seeing anything on it. Not really anything that jumps out to me at this very moment. Okay, we'll see that. The threat shows me it's a hail threat mainly. That's that purple shaded area there on the screen. But again, I go back to our reflectivity scan. It gives us the very latest location of the sail on our Willis Knight Mega 3 live Doppler radar. And that's why we're here this afternoon, to keep you up to date, because we've been talking about this stuff. So we make sure to keep you up to date on it as well. So that's what you see there going on. So we got a new scan that just came in as well that you're able to go and end up picking up. So that's what you were dealing with. So we're going to go back out to a little bit broader view here. I'm going to put this in motion and let you see it. The sail's developing there. So we're starting to see them develop. That line I showed you just a second ago on the overall forecast, our high resolution model, that we'd probably start to see these sails form and develop a little bit more. That is what we are picking up right now. More of these sails starting to go and develop. So we're going to continue to watch this to see how they move across from the west to the east throughout the remainder of the afternoon. Now, again, once these get fired up and going, they're going to get booking it, and they're going to get booking it fast. So I know you got questions about things there. And like I told you, thanks for watching us. We happen to be live for you right now on our KTBS Facebook page, our KTBS Weather Facebook page, Weatherman Patrick Facebook page, also on YouTube, also on our 24-hour weather channel. Saying that because I know some of you have questions. Unfortunately, I am not there to answer those questions for you for right now as we're watching the weather going on for you at this very moment. We're going to stay on here for a little bit longer. We might jump off. We might jump back on, might tag team as well with Joe to get some insight from him and his thoughts on the overall weather situation as we continue to go on into the rest of the afternoon and early evening hours. So what we're seeing right now are the storms developing even more so across the areas of northeast Texas and southwest areas of Arkansas. And as you can see, matter of fact, we're going to go here. I just want to show you. I'm going to take off all the lightning strikes. We're going to go plot up on the screen for you one more time. Now we're going to go to turn off this radar. We're going to go to this one. So we can just fill them all in. It's more of a composite image from a bunch of different radars together. And now you're able to see those there. And we will go over here, and I'm going to put on the screen for you your tornado watches also, because I took that off. So there you see. So that's what you see. You see the whole area there, that line that stretches from Missouri all the way down in the northwest Arkansas, western parts of Arkansas, and now developing down into northeast Texas. This area, probably in this zone right here, will have our best chance of seeing activity for us as we go through the next few hours. And then this area through here will probably have the better chances as well the further on up north you go. So it's right out on the edge of the Arklatex, but we are concerned here locally for high winds, damaging winds that could impact our area. So we'll watch that and see how that goes and develops for us for right now in our region. So we'll watch that there. Let me take care of a couple of things here. And so, but yeah, we have to watch this and see what's going to go on. So we're doing our live coverage for you right now. Here's something interesting too. On the backside of this system, later on tonight, there's another little disturbance rotating around the backside of it. It's going to squeeze all the moisture out of the atmosphere. Believe it or not, some areas might actually see snowfall, but it's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be a problem. Not going to be a problem whatsoever for us going on here in our area. Hey, Bree, I sent you a text. Text me back and let me know that you got it there. We may do a little switch over here in just a moment if you do, but just let me know and we'll take care of that. And you can communicate and find out to make sure everything is set up. But anyway, let's keep talking. I want to show you again, folks. This is what it looks like for you. Those winds we were looking at. This is what it looks like that's Natchitoches. This is southeast Oklahoma, and things have changed there a little bit. Looks like still a little bit breezy for you in the area, and we will see how things take place for us here locally in our region as well as we continue to work our way through the afternoon. Repeat that, Bree. Okay, yeah. Okay, just we are watching things for you. Team coverage this afternoon for us. And we're getting ready. We have our newscast coming up later on today. We're not going to leave our 24-hour weather channel and all this just yet because we do have storms developing, and I feel really bad that we'd be jumping off, and a lot of folks are going to be joining us from other areas. So that's why we want to make sure that we stay on top of it and let you know what is taking place with this activity in the meantime. So we're going to go back to our region here. Tornado watch there in place. We're going to switch things over to our Willis Knight Mega 3 live Doppler radar. It's going to be very, very busy for us for this afternoon. Before I do that, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to take off the watches and the warnings so we can see this. This is a visible satellite picture that you were seeing there. And we are watching this. You can see what we're looking at here. We are keeping an eye back here to the west. We start to see towering cumulus clouds right through here. This is where the main front happens to be. So we're starting to see those. The other thing that we watch for happens to be the water vapor loop, and that shows us our upper level storm system itself. You see that system coming in from the west, feeding in that drier air across Austin and Dallas area, helping to all push that frontal system on through our region as well. And so a lot of the dynamics, the best of those dynamics are further up to the north, but we are seeing them here in areas of the Arklatex as well. Going to go back, and we will take a look to see what we have going on here locally. Let me switch this off and go to our local Willis Knight Mega 3 live Doppler radar. And we're starting to see more storms form further out to the west there across areas of Texas. So let me get the new sweep there. There's a new sweep coming in right now. And we're going to be able to see those cells coming on into those areas there in northeast Texas also. As far as seeing rotation with these cells, let's see if we got anything going on. Let's stop this here. Take a look, a little switch over, different product. Not seeing anything just yet as far as rotation. Let's keep it that way. Sometimes these things are very, very difficult to go and end up picking up for us locally. We will see quite a few lightning strikes associated with it. That's the lightning strike history that we are seeing right there as they move on across that area. Very heavy rainfall. Let me do some tracking for you right now. And we're going to plot back on the screen. That's our watches and warnings graphic. I'm going to remove our tornado watch just so it makes it a lot easier for you to see things on the screen. That happens to be our severe thunderstorm warning that is out right now. Now, this is getting ready to move in on the western side of DeQueen, okay? Western side DeQueen. I'm going to turn down so you can see street level mapping a little bit better there, as you're able to notice as well. So there it is. DeQueen's right over here. It's right on the west side of DeQueen. Its heaviest cell is south of Cheatham there, right north of Highway 70 West. For you, it's moving into the Oak Grove community there in southwest areas of Arkansas. That storm, by the way, as it makes its way across Waldo Road, County Road 50, Miles Road in that area, west of Oak Grove, Arkansas there to the northwest of DeQueen, it is probably bringing in with it some hail as well. Go a little further south, Horatio, you got a cell coming in from your west, getting ready to move over areas there of West Otis, heading on towards Horatio there. It's going to be in that vicinity shortly, so keep that in mind as it heads in your general direction. Go a little bit further down to the south, Hayworth. You got a cell there just on the west side there, on the east side of Hayworth, heading towards Shinewell, moving over Shinewell Road, the America Road, heading towards Rock Hill Road. Also, these storms are moving to the east, Go a little bit further down to the south for you, out of the severe thunderstorm warning. And then we're going to go further south to where our warning happens to be there for a cell north of Mount Vernon, heading towards Daphne. US 271 Talco area there in northeast Texas. The cell's getting ready to come into that region with the heaviest part of the cell situated south of Lakeview that you're able to see right through there. Trying to go a little closer, let you see. County Road Northwest 1030. County Road Northeast 2210. Now, those will give you a little bit of some markers there to let you know those cells as they're moving off to the northeast. Repeat that, Bree. Okay. So, but that's a little recap on what is going on right now for us here in our region. But we don't want to break away from coverage of what is taking place for us. I made a comment about we have team coverage going on, and I think we'll switch this over to links too, obviously. And so I will go right now. I'm going to go and I'll step away, give my voice a little bit of a break, but I'm not going anywhere. I'll be right here too as well. But as I told you, we have team coverage for you this afternoon. I know some of you like to listen to Joe as well talk and give his analysis of the weather going on. So I'm going to let him take it over for a little bit, and then I will be back with you also. But we're not going to go anywhere right now because I think Joe would agree with me. We're probably going to start to see more of these storms wrap up as well. And so, Joe, I'll let you share your thoughts on it too.
All right, Patrick. Yeah, it's a very volatile situation, especially near the cold front. I was just looking at the sounding, which is the balloon launch from the National Weather Service in Shreveport, and the atmosphere is very strongly capped in the Shreveport area. There's a lot of wind shear, and there's some thermal energy there, but the cap is very strong. It's about 7 degrees, so we got to either warm up 7 degrees or break the cap, or we got to cool the upper atmosphere down to take care of that, or have something that'll knife through it like a cold front. Well, looking at our Wilson Knight Mega 3 Doppler radar, you can see the storms lining up along that cold front. That's a very sharp boundary. Now, there's a little bit of activity developing ahead of the front, but right now it's just shower activity. So it's instability type showers that are popping up with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. The closer to the dynamics of the system, which is up in Arkansas and Oklahoma, you'll actually probably see some storms that will develop in the what we call discrete thunderstorms that will develop ahead of that main line. But also, you'll probably see a few of those supercell type thunderstorms develop in the line too, that far north. The rest of the Arctic, I think it'll have to just be on the line like we're getting. But boy, once you pop through that cap with the front pushing, lifting the buoyant energy through that dry and warm layer of air, which is incidentally from roughly what we call 800 millibars to about 600 millibars in Shreveport, a little bit less cap as you go north and west of that dry and warm air. Above that, you bring that energy, that little thermal through there, it takes off flying because it's a very cold upper atmosphere. And that's why these thunderstorms are just blowing up right along the front, and they're going fast. And moving to the east, about 40 to 50 miles per hour, as Patrick probably told you. And you can see a very defined line there now. So this is, and of course, as Patrick was telling you about the warnings there too, already has severe thunderstorm warnings, hail and gusty winds primarily right now. We do have that tornado watch across our area. So what I'm going to do here, you've seen our Wilson Knight Mega 3 Doppler radar. We're scanning, and you can see the storms are developing all the way back over toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. That's our cold front. We'll kind of give you a big picture, and we'll come back to the radar here in just a little bit. So let's go ahead. I'm going to see, I got to turn on the clicker here and get it going. We're using a different machine here than what Patrick was using, and a different show, but talking about the same information here. Tornado watch until 9 o'clock tonight. So the Storm Prediction Center has issued a tornado watch, covers most of East Texas, with the exception of a couple of counties down there in Toledo Bend country, northwest Louisiana, all of Arkansas, and part of southeast Oklahoma. Until 9 o'clock, tornadoes are possible in and near the watch area, showing up in the red colors. Also, we have a very strong wind gradient outside of the thunderstorms. And some of that wind is actually working into the thunderstorms and increasing the wind speed coming out of those thunderstorms. And so we're looking at the gradient wind is just the wind that develops when you have a change in barometric pressure. And so between here and the cold front, it's quite a difference there. And that's why the winds have been so strong out of the south today and picking up as the front gets closer. And behind the front, we'll have strong gusty northwest winds. And some of that wind behind the front will work into those thunderstorms and help them accelerate out, but also shoot out some pretty good winds of their own, outflow winds that could be damaging. So it's a busy day there, and that's not all of it there. And by the way, winds could gust over 45, perhaps close to 50 miles an hour outside of thunderstorms. Freeze warnings in effect for tonight. So once that front passes through here, it's going to give us a very cold atmosphere. We'll be down near freezing over much of the Arctic by tomorrow morning, area wide as we head into your Tuesday morning. So a very cold scenario anticipated. Chance of measurable rain It's picking up as that front gets a little bit closer to the remainder of the Arctic, so it's a probability in most areas that you're going to get measurable rain or at least 1/100th of an inch of rain here as we go through the remainder of the afternoon into the early evening. Rain chance for tonight, it's a slight possibility, and after midnight, we could see a few showers that come through with the like a little second wave behind this cold front in the upper atmosphere, a little piece of energy coming through. And believe it or not, the computer model shows a little bit of snow there, a little banding of snow. I wouldn't expect any accumulation or anything of that nature since it'll be, well above freezing. But you can see this kind of or this type weather happen with a storm system this strong. So here's a jet stream dipping down, and you can kind of see the clouds kind of working down, the moisture working down. It's this storm system is deepening. It's getting stronger. So as it moves through the northern part of the Arctic here over the next few hours, it'll actually strengthen and the severe weather threat intensifies. And that's why we do have the tornado watch covering a good deal of the Arctic and especially east of where the storms are right now for the next, until 9 o'clock tonight, because this storm system with its dynamic lift is getting stronger as it moves into our region. That's where the jet stream dips down. In fact, you can see the forecast there, how it becomes more amplified as it goes into our areas. So, and the wind's very strong too. Those lines very close together here during the height of the storm, indicating very strong winds coming through. So a lot of wind energy, which helps take those updrafts high into the atmosphere. And the taller the storm updraft, the potential stronger the storm could be. And with the winds of all directions, southerly winds ahead of the front, northwest winds behind it. You got wind shear in the lower atmosphere. You got a lot of spin there. That's where your severe weather threat with tornadoes comes into play there with this kind of setup. All right, here's our precision cast. So it seems to be picking up pretty good right now, not as intense as what we're looking at storm-wise, but you can kind of see it does identify the front, and then it lights up the storms pretty good once it gets a little farther south. So the front, or this model, a little bit behind, but it shows the potential for some pretty strong to severe thunderstorms here by about 5 o'clock south and east of Texarkana down toward Henderson, and then passing through Shreveport, Bossier, and working on down toward Many and on up toward the Ruston area there. That's about 7 o'clock this evening, and then pushing out of the Arctic as we get into the 9 o'clock hour tonight. And then a bit of a break, and then watch some of this jet stream energy come through. It shows up in green here that it could be a little bit of rain shower activity, but the way it's fanning out there, it could also be a little streak of snow or snow banding. But most likely it'll just be rain here. But when I saw that in the model run earlier today, I was like, well, that's pretty exciting. It wouldn't stick, but you can't have this type of weather. It's still wintertime here in the Arctic for 4 more days. Anyway, this goes on by. We get into your Monday. It's just a windy and cold day for us. And rain amounts, this is such a fast-moving system, and the atmosphere is so capped outside the front that you're just going to get a little narrow line of storms that'll have a decent amount of rain there, but moving 50 miles per hour. So you're not going to see a lot of measurable rain out of this system as it rolls on through, even down Toledo Bend way, which you usually get most of the rain. Right now, the computer models are showing you about 1/4 of an inch at best. Current temperatures up near 80 degrees, so a lot of thermal energy in the lower part of the atmosphere. But again, we have that lid on the atmosphere, the cap, running up about from 4,500 or 4 to 5,000 feet and going up to, 10,000 feet or so. So we got an area that's warm and dry. And so it's going to be tough breaking that cap until that front wedges like a knife through there and pushes things up through that boundary. But we're looking at very warm weather, and we got a lot of moisture in the lower part of the atmosphere and a lot of warmth. So once you take that lower energy up through that cap, you're looking at these storms really taking off because it's really cold in the upper atmosphere, and that we call that temperature lapse rate. And with that storm system getting a little bit stronger as it goes through, and the faster winds aloft to help evacuate the thunderstorm updraft and pull it out, could be a volatile situation, especially from our area just to the east and northeast. Could be tough. All right, low temperatures for tonight. Look at this, 20s and 30s. So again, we have that freeze warning for tonight. And then we're looking at tomorrow, 40s and 50s for highs. 40s and 50s compared to the 80s today. So there you go. No wonder everybody's getting sick around here. Now, check out the forecast for the extended. Okay, so 50s for tomorrow, upper 50s on Tuesday, but we start out near freezing, and then the 70s on Wednesday, and then we're off to the races once again with high temperatures jumping up in the 80s for Thursday. Friday, we're getting up in the mid to high 80s, Saturday and Sunday, and close to record temperature territory as we go through that time period. So, yeah, it's a crazy forecast there. So I tell you what, we've gone through the forecast here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out of the camera here and jump on the radar real quick and give you updates on what's going on there with our Willis Knight Mega 3 Doppler radar. So hang on, not getting off the broadcast just yet. Going to just get over here, sit down with the radar, and we'll kind of look it over and see what we have going on, because I've been on the air for a little bit here, and this is a dynamic
Hey, Joe.
Situation changing rapidly. So it looks like new severe thunderstorm warning. This is actually outside of our area. This is for Upshur County. Looks like it goes until 4:45 p.m. I'll put the storm into motion here. You can see just how fast it develops and then blows up. You see, let me zoom in a little bit closer. You've got that little bright spot there north of Mineola there, and that's very, very heavy rain. That's probably also looking at some hail. That still is outside of our viewing area, but headed toward the Gilmer area, north of Big Sandy and Hawkins, and moving to the east. That's 1 hour's worth of movement you're looking at, and it's just developing too during that period. And that's why it's not showing up a little bit earlier. We still got severe thunderstorm warnings. This one's north of Mount Pleasant there, and that's in Titus County, also southern Red River County. That thunderstorm hanging on pretty good there and moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So that's getting along the I-30 corridor. Looks like it'll bypass the Mount Pleasant area. And it looks like you'll pick up a little bit of a light rain scenario there, but it doesn't look like you're going to get the brunt of it. And that's 1 hour's worth of movement. So if we back out just a little bit here, we'll get you an update on where that's going. I'm going to go ahead and put a ETA. So that's the latest on that. Let's see if we can get any kind of information of where this storm will be, especially the strongest parts of it. So that part was moving east at about 40. So that gets us, it really takes off there. I'm not picking up any cities on mine. It shows Maud and Redwater there, but there's more cities in between there. You got the I-30 corridor where this is coming up to. So this one capable of ping pong ball size hail, especially where you see that area there. In fact, I'm going to try to see if we can put a little hail swath there. Let's see. I don't see if it's putting any hail on there. I don't see anything. Let me go ahead and look see if we got any rotation in that storm. Not looking at any rotation. And that far out, it's hard to get a good assessment because we're looking up about, that far out, probably about 7,000 feet up in the atmosphere. So we're not down near the surface. But I'm just going to let me pull the lightning strikes out of here, see if we got any unruly ones. Well, there's a little unruly thunderstorm right there. Okay, it's got a little rotation. It's kind of a wide area of rotation there, the green areas. This is up in south of Horatio. So let me put this pin on here. So you're looking at greens are toward and reds away. And this is in the back of the thunderstorm here. I'm going to put the reflectivity back up real quick. And we can have these type thunderstorms form tornadoes. We call, with the current environment, the Storm Prediction Center calls them semi-discrete. You can actually get some pseudo supercells develop inside the line besides the weaker storms from what we call the squall line or QLCS type thunderstorms. And this one does have a little rotation, probably some pretty good hail with it too. Let me go on the hail swath. Yeah, the radar indicated hail. So that is to be expected there. I'm going to check in with the National Weather Service real quick, and I'll tell you what, I'll go out to the big scan here so you can kind of see where everything is. I'll put in 2 dimensions there, and I'm going to set it up like that. So what you're looking at real quick before I check with the Weather Service, here's the cold front. I'm using the blue line there, and all the storms are forming right along that blue line. Notice you've got some showers that are showing up in advance of the thunderstorms along the front. Let's see if I can make this happen. So you're seeing a few develop out here. I'm going to put on the lightning tracker, see if we got any lightning strikes. Notice that the thunderstorms are mainly along the cold front. And again, the cold front is what's breaking the cap. Outside of that, these are just instability showers that they're not breaking the cap. So we're still looking at an environment that's going to be pretty much along that cold front. And that's moving east at a fairly rapid rate there. In fact, the lightning tracker is having a tough time keeping up with it, but you can see the extent of it. I'm going to put this into motion real quick. You can kind of keep an eye on that. Let me see what the Weather Service has got here. They've got 1.5-inch diameter hail. That's Upshur County and 60-mile-an-hour winds with that severe thunderstorm. That's just outside of our viewing area. Let's see if there's anything else that's showing up on their weather chat page. Not seeing anything right now. Tornado watch again goes until 9 o'clock, and you got numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, so we'll work back through those now that we're jumping on the radar here. Going to go back up here. So the one severe thunderstorm warning this until 4:15 p.m., so another 20 minutes. Those storms have already passed to Queens, so you're finished with all that business. And working on in what's it, Hempstead, Howard counties. Howard County there, coming up on Highway 278, it looks like, and 59. And those are some pretty good storms there. I'm going to look real quick at the velocity and just check, make sure we're not dealing with any that are trying to spin up into a tornado, and I don't see any right now. So these storms still behaving for the most part there in that area. So going back to the reflectivity, I'll stop the motion here and give you an ETA of where these things are going. So let's see here. Let me get this. I'll just put them on the strongest parts of the storms, and there's one severe thunderstorm warning. And these were going about 45. These are a little bit stronger or faster movers. So there you go. We got Nashville, Mineral Springs, Locksburg. You're about to get it. Dirks, Arkansas. You're about to get it. Oh, here comes, you know what? They're about to issue a tornado warning. So here we go. This will be the first of the afternoon. So let me clear off the plate here. We've got to say a tornado warning about to come up. And I believe what we're going to need to do is go on all channels here, all properties. Let's go ahead and let me see here. Let me get the storm relative velocity. So looks like it's going to be up there, I believe, just east of DeQueen. Tornado warning coming for severe going into Howard counties here. So when they issue that, I think we'll need to go ahead and go on all channels here and get everybody updated on this. But give us a moment here. So you folks that are with us right now are about to see a tornado warning issued, and this will be for Howard and Sevier counties. And I think it's just east of DeQueen, that one particular storm. This far out, there we go. So you see the greens and reds, but we're pretty far out there. But the green colors indicate the winds that are blowing back toward the radar, and the red away. And, you know, this, we're looking up into the sky quite a bit too. But let's see here what the Weather Service has got. No issuance as of yet. I'm going to clear this out. And that's going to be a problem here this afternoon, it looks like, obviously, since we do have a tornado watch that goes all the way till 9 o'clock. You can see the territory it covers. Arkansas, you'll have the greatest dynamics and the best chance. You'll have the most wind shear, the best chance. All right, here we go. Radar indicated tornado warning. All right, let's see what we got here. So this is for Howard County and Sevier County until 4:30 p.m. All right, let's see here. Let's get back to Howard and Sevier County until 4:30 p.m. Tornado and $50 size hail is what they're looking at. Radar indicated, of course, nothing on the ground at this time. Moving to the east at 45 miles per hour there. So it looks like the rotation at the level we're at, which is about 10,000 feet, is getting a little bit stronger where you have the greens and the reds. They're getting pretty close together. So let's see here if they're going to populate this with a tornado warning. They haven't done it as of yet, but they have issued it. So let me go back here. Tornado warning. All right, let's see if we're getting, here it is. Okay, now we're good to go. All right, folks, in the control room, you mind if we go on, let's go ahead and go on all channels here. We got a tornado warning. This is the northern part of the Arklatex. We'll get on here and alert these
Okay.
folks that we have a radar indicated tornado, especially.
Okay, Joe, take care of something real quick here. Director's going to talk to you about that. I want to bring you up to date, folks. We should be, hopefully, take TDs, make sure that we are on all platforms now, KTBS, KPXJ as well, so we bring folks up to date on what is going on. The National Weather Service has issued that tornado warning that we've been on the air watching these storms now for the past, let's say, hour. So we've been live with you all afternoon watching these storms here to see what's going on. So a tornado warning has been issued by the National Weather Service for this cell here that we watched first develop and move over Broken Bow Lake, made its way now over on the northeast side of DeQueen, Arkansas, moving to the northeast. If we have a tornado there on the ground, I'm going to go a little bit closer there to help you out, folks. This is going to be moving along U.S. Highway 70 there, U.S. Highway 70, heading towards Atwood, moving towards Provo Road, making its way towards Dirks right now. You are looking at storm relative velocity here for you, but I'm going to switch things over right now and let you see as far as with our Willis Knight Mega 3 live Doppler radar, that cell is probably moving right there as you're able to see it. I'm going to take a little bit of the coloring off of the screen there for you for right now so you can see things a little bit better. Along US 71, just on the west side of Lebanon. So it is moving to the northeast, heading towards Dirks. If you were in Dirks, please take this cell seriously. This is a radar-indicated possible tornado with this cell. It's making its way now and moving to the northeast, east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. This is a very, very fast-moving cell. It is going to be in Dirks in a matter of 7 minutes. Dirks, you have 7 minutes to get prepared for this storm that could be producing a tornado. This is what is called a radar-indicated tornado. It could have hail of 1 inch in diameter or greater. It's moving to the east. Now, it's not going to be in the Arklatex for very long, but we're going to watch this cell as we're probably, and we could see more tornado warnings being issued for cells here for us in our area. Again, Willis Knight Mega 3 live Doppler radar. This is a live scan for you, and we're going to go and put it into motion as well. It's going to drop away for a moment because I'm just updating my scan here and letting you see that, and then I'm going to put it in motion and letting you see the trajectory of it heading towards Dirks right now. So again, tornado warning in place for you that you were seeing there right now on the screen. We'll go in closer for you. I'll leave that on the screen as well as far as the direction that it is headed. Street level mapping, letting you see where this cell is heading towards Atwood. It is more than likely, if we have anything reaching the ground, it is heading towards Greens Chapel Road, Firehouse Lane, near or north of US 70 there for you. I'm going to switch it up here, and we're going to go to our velocity scans and let you see that too. That's what we're looking at, folks. Right through here, this rotation, moving to the northeast there along and north of US Highway 70 and southwest areas of Arkansas. This cell will continue to do that. That's a base velocity. This is storm relative velocity. It's almost the same thing that we're seeing. Now we're going to go back to the latest image of our live Doppler radar and letting you see that, give you a little bit of an idea of what you were looking at, where I put that center of rotation happened to be situated there. So that's what you have going on. We're going to go back out over here. So it's located right on the south side of the Lebanon community. Moving to the northeast, I want to put the track on it for you once again. Let's take a look at some of our shear markers that you're able to see. Now, if it's a tornado, it could make a little right-hand nudge to the right a little bit. We'll see what goes on there. This happens to be one of the variables we can look at with our cell. It is moving east at about 43 miles per hour. It's nearly 40,000 feet tall. It has 1.5 inch size hail with this storm there. And again, the width of the storm is about 10 miles. That does not mean the tornado is 10 miles. Does not mean we have any confirmed reports of a tornado as well. The National Weather Service is continuing with its warning for this area. The storm which prompted the warning has moved out of the area there. That's a different cell there for us. So we're looking at there. Actually, it was over there a little bit further to the west. So anyway, so we're going to watch this and see with this cell that's over here in parts of southwest areas of Arkansas. Again, it is moving towards Dirks. If you are there in Dirks, Arkansas, please take cover now. If you're in the Atwood community, take cover now as you have this cell moving on across that area. We'll go, and I'm going to remove some of the opacity to make it see a little bit better down to the street. And you're able to notice there, it's moving into Lebanon. It's moving on the north side of Atwood. We'll take a look also at the moment and let you see as far as our storm relative velocity. I really believe that velocity now has bumped its way over towards areas probably near Lebanon, towards Atwood, that you're able to see there for right now. And so that's probably where the cell happens to be. When I go back to my live reflectivity scan, it matches up in that region. As far as the cell, again, it is probably situated. If we have a tornado on the ground, Going to be right through here, right on the north side of US 70. So if we go in a little bit closer, take that off, let you see things a little bit better. So I remove some of that leveling for you. It's probably going to be making its way over towards, it's probably Franchiser Place. It's moving across Old Dirks Highway, heading over the area there near Atwood, near Hog Hill Road. Again, if we have anything reaching the ground, that is probably where we would end up seeing this particular circulation right now that you're able to pick up with our latest live radar scan for this very moment. Again, if you're joining us, we are on the air for a tornado warning on the extreme northern parts of the Arklatex. Okay, we'll rejoin regular programming in a little bit. I know this afternoon we mainly have on there some different programming going on. We're going to stay on platforms. Why is that? It's a very serious situation trying to develop across the Arklatex. I'll go out a little bit and show you what we have going on. Numerous severe storm warnings have developed now across East Texas into Southwest Arkansas. Watching this line of storms now rapidly form. Question of it is, will they stay together or not? You're looking at the very latest for you on your live radar scan from your Willis-Knighton Mega 3 live Doppler radar. Took it off for a moment. It's going to come back on because I restarted the scan once again for us to give us the very latest on the location. You'll see it all pop up here in just a bit. Again, folks, please take these storm cells seriously. Now, we will get out of programming our part of it in just a few moments if this storm moves out of the Arklatex, and it's going to eventually. But we're able to see it right now as we zoom in there a little closer for you, give some street level mapping in areas of around Dirks. I'm going to step over here, guys, technical directors. So if this storm is reaching the ground for us, pop me up here, what you're looking at right there, it's kind of going to be probably right here in this vicinity. This is US Highway 70. This is Dirks, Arkansas over here. That's the live radar scan for you, showing you the cell, and that rotation is probably somewhere tucked in right through here. So again, it's radar indicated, but that's what we have to go by right now, and that's why we're monitoring this storm. So again, if you're in Dirks, anywhere around Dirks, watch out for this cell as it does get ready to move on across. We'll take a look at the latest storm relative velocity scan and let us see that. Now, it may have shifted a little bit for us, so we'll see what goes on here. We're watching this here closely. And here's the problem. If it's that far up north on the northern edge, sometimes it's a little difficult. It's where the radar beam is shot up in the air, and that makes some things a little bit difficult for us sometimes to end up seeing in our area as far as where exactly everything happens to be. So we'll go back to our live scan. So if it shifted some, and it's possible, it's very well possible, this could have shifted a little bit on us. Not going to rule that out at all. So for right now, as far as what we're going to look at here, if this shifted some, it may now have gone south in areas on the south side of US 70. I'm going to tell everybody this can happen, but don't let your guard down. I'm going to give you a broad perspective of it. Anywhere along US 70 in Southwest Arkansas, leading through Atwood, heading towards Dirks. And we got a new scan there for you on our live radar scan. It's getting closer and closer to the Dirks, Arkansas area. But anywhere in that vicinity, you need to go and take this storm seriously. I'm going to go out and put a track on it for you and let you see it right now. As you're able to do so, give me one moment here. I want to check out a couple of things on our storm relative velocity scan and let you see that. So it looks like it might have shifted a little bit further to the south. And we're going to go, we'll put it in motion and let you see what I'm talking about here. I got to watch the motion of it to see what it does. So it looks like it might have gone just to the south side of it for right now. So we'll see what goes on there. We're going to go back over to our live scan and let you see that also as it goes there in motion. So we'll put the track on it for you again. We'll stop that. Put the track at about 35 miles per hour. Okay, Joe, are you there live on the air with us?
Yeah, Patrick, it looked like we had a couple of circulations there, which is not unusual with this type of what we call QLCS thunderstorm, you know, the squall line, in other words, along the cold front there. It looked like just north of Dirks and then just southwest of Dirks, a couple of circulations. Of course, as you were saying, we're looking way up there, probably 10,000 feet. So it's hard to get a good any good information if there's anything on the ground. I mean, you can look at the CC, the correlation coefficient there, see if there's anything, and put it into motion. And, you know, gosh, it's hard to tell this far up. I mean, sometimes you get a thunderstorm, as you know, that produces a tornado and lost debris 20,000 feet. Well, you could see that pretty well But for what we're looking at here, it's hard to tell. National Weather Service would pinpoint it. I mean,
Yep.
there is a little bit of, and it's probably the updraft where you're picking up some rain that's up near Dirks. I mean, showing up in a debris scan there. You see that? I mean, it could be debris, but that may be also that the water from the downdraft that's being pulled up into the updraft there. But that's interesting to see. I know you've got the National Weather Service chat room there. I don't see anything of them talking about any debris signature. Again, tough to see this. We're looking at about 10,000 feet up. And, up there, the wind shear is a lot stronger. And they have a lot of dynamics with that system. And with the stronger winds up there in the upper atmosphere and with the jet stream, that's going to be the name of the game, I think, right along that front for Arkansas for the next few hours is tornadoes. And they'll be in that line. It still looks like they're pretty capped in advance of that line where you're not seeing any thunderstorms develop ahead of that front. And then moving at 50 miles an hour, too. That is a real challenge, as, of course, you're talking about there. Didn't mean to get in your way, step on your toes there with the coverage, but I saw the two circulations, and with those semi-discrete supercells developing along that line there, that's going to be busy for Arkansas. Folks in Arkansas, beware. And of course, the rest of the Architects too, as just about every one of these thunderstorms along that cold front is becoming severe. You'll probably notice that. See all the warnings along that front? That's the cold front there, all the way down to near Tyler. Severe thunderstorm warnings all along there. Hail, gusty winds. You're going to have some real strong winds because you got a strong environmental winds right now, strong south winds blowing, feeding those storms, and then strong northwest winds behind them. And that, along with the upper level winds, you got a lot of wind shear. It's a very strong rotating and strong velocity environment. In other words, the wind shear is real high. We call it bulk shear for the whole atmosphere. And with it being that high, severe weather is going to be the name of the game, unfortunately, with the tornadoes, Arkansas bound there. So folks, get ready. This is, and Patrick, we talked about a little while ago that if anything breaks the cap, it's going to go severe pretty rapidly because it's so cold in the upper atmosphere and all the other parameters that you need to break that cap. And of course, we were talking about the cap as being the dry and warm air that's currently in Shreveport, roughly from about 4,000 or 5,000 feet up to 10,000 feet. But that front's doing the job, and especially north where it's a little bit colder in the atmosphere. And
so, Joe,
let's see here real quick. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So, yeah, you're exactly right on that. And that was one of the things I was looking at a little bit earlier on there with these cells is that, it looked like something might have been either repositioning itself or a different one. I will tell you, I'm watching this other cell a little further south. And by the way, I know if you're watching this on KTBS and KPXJ, we're going to drop out of that programming in just a few moments there to go back to regular programming. But in case you want to watch us and continue to watch us, we are going to continue our feeds there for you on our 24-hour weather channel. Also on YouTube, also on our main weather, our KTBS news page, KTBS weather page, and at Weatherman Patrick as well. But Joe, the other thing too is, I don't know, and I'll get your feedback on some of it too. I'm checking out right now some of these line of storms further south, and I'm waiting to see if the Weather Service is watching any of these either, because the storms there gets a little bits of rotation. One there near Wilton, Arkansas, north of Ashdown, that I'm seeing there. And I'm going to go here and I will switch this up and I'll point out, folks, what it is that I'm looking at right now. It has a little bit of some rotation, might be down in that area that we'll watch. And then further to the south, not picking up quite as much further south you go. But again, this is, as Joe mentioned, this is on the periphery of the area. That radar beam is super high up in the air. And a lot of times, too, we like to see these storms get closer in because we like to see those lower radar scans because that allows us to determine and see what the low-level rotation is, which is so, so, so important with these particular cells that we are looking for. But I'm interested in watching that one there, right there, probably north of Ashdown, to see if it materializes into anything going on. But back to our Willis Knight Mega 3 live Doppler radar scan. So what I want to do before we get off of our main channels, I just want to go and give everybody a little bit of an overview of what we're watching. We got this one cell here on the east side of Dirks now, moving off to the east for us. And as it does so, if it's able to do that there at about 35 miles per hour, it looks like it's almost moving due east some. It's going to take it out of the Arklatex and now to the east side of Dirks. And you see how fast they're moving, like Joe made mention of 40 miles per hour. So that's an indication. If it's moving 40 miles per hour, you got some good winds with that particular cell there too. We'll take that off the screen and let me remove that. So we'll go a little bit further to the south and let you see this strong cell here that you're able to see right there, basically north of Ashdown. And I'll put a track on there for you as well. This is an old little indicator, but this storm's topping out at 40,000 feet up in the air. 50% chance of severe hail with it, moving at east and southeast at about 45 miles per hour. Gives you an idea of the communities that it could be impacting there that you're able to see there as well. And then we're going to go further south. We're going to have cells heading towards the Texarkana area soon, and then they stretch all the way down south towards Naples, Texas, moving towards Dangerfield, north of Pittsburgh. Now, it's not a solid line, but it is a line of cells here. So now they're really starting to come together. And as Joe mentioned too, we may have the better dynamics for the rotation in southwest Arkansas. But again, we'll have to monitor the storms the further south they go and move on into our area of the Arklatex. So we'll have to see how they go and they end up forming. But again, it looks like the cell is probably getting ready to move outside of our area there. But we'll watch it for a little bit longer. I'm waiting to see if the Weather Service says anything else about this particular cell right now that we are watching, that we do have the tornado warning out on for you there on the east side of Dirks, Arkansas, moving to the east right now. Let's see. Another severe thunderstorm warning coming on the outside of the Arklatex near Lindale. So that, again, that shows you further out to the west that we're seeing here in our area as far as where these severe storms are situated. But this is the very latest scan for you that you're able to see on your Willis-Knighton Mega 3 Live Doppler radar. We'll go into street level mapping, let you just see some of where these stronger cells happen to be right now. So I know that's very, very important for you to go and end up seeing. It helps you out a little bit too. Right north of Center Point there in southwest Arkansas, right east of Waco Road, north of Highway 26 West, a very strong cell on that area on County Road 22550, I believe that's what that says there, heading towards Highway 369 north near Briar and Perkins, over in areas of southwest Arkansas. So that is where one cell is headed. We'll go a little further south. Mineral Springs has a very heavy cell taking place. This is outside of the tornado warning, but again, you need to make sure you keep a close eye on anything moving on through there. Along and north of Highway 27 South, we have cells further south there near Ashdown, Arkansas, on up towards and south, north on the north side of New Boston. Further southward as well into parts of northeast Texas, trying to get ready to enter into parts of the Arklatex also for us. So nothing new on this particular cell right now. It is still technically in our area. But what we're going to do is this. I don't have any confirmed reports on the cell. We're going to watch it here. We're going to give it a couple more scans, and then we're going to jump out of it on our main channels for you as well, get back to the regular programming that they did have on the air. But again, remember, you can continue to watch us because we're not going anywhere just yet on our 24-hour weather channel and also on YouTube and also on our social media Facebook pages there. But a very strong cell there for us right near that area in southwest Arkansas. We'll check to see if we see the rotation anymore with this cell. So it might be a little bit there. It's tough to tell. So give me one moment there, guys. I'll tell you that upstairs. Just stay where we are right now. Still seeing a little bit of rotation there, perhaps, east of Center Point, right, probably approaching Highway 369 north. Let me click on right there. Our live radar scan for you to let you see that. Again, this is how it looks like in that particular area. It's moving to the east at about 35 miles per hour. It's sitting now right on top of Highway 369, right on the west side of Corinth there in southwest Arkansas, moving over Antioch Road, heading towards Highway 369 north, heading eastbound. It stays together. It will head in the area there in southwest areas of Arkansas also. It looks like the National Weather Service in areas there in southwest Arkansas now picking this cell up, and they went to a severe thunderstorm warning on this particular line. So having said that, there obviously the rotation has gone down, but again, close eye on that cell where it happens to be situated right now at this very, very moment. We can go right now and we can get off of KTBS and KPXJ, go back to regular programming, stay though on the air for us for right now in areas of, I should say, on the YouTube, Facebook, and our 24-hour weather channel there for you. National Weather Service is issued. This is just outside the area on the west side of the Arklatex over in Smith County. But this is how things are looking with the radar loop on your live radar scans right now that we are going and picking up there for you here in our area. So, Joe, I tell you what, if Joe, we're watching these cells here move on across the area right now. I've been interested in your thoughts because your experience as well. I know you've been watching. You'd like to do a lot of analysis on this stuff, which is very, very important, obviously. I know the stronger upper level winds are situated there in parts of Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas also for us. And I got a funny feeling that might be where we see our highest tornado threat, especially as they move off to the east. But I'm also thinking we'll start to see a little bit more of that wind threat further down to the south. So whenever you want to, I'm ready for you to get your thoughts as well on what you are thinking about that tornado threat as we go through the evening hours there. So feel free, if you want to share that with us at any moment, because that's what it is I'm curious about there too for you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah, still looking at the so southeast of Dirk, you still have that circulation there that warranted the original tornado warning. You can see it, at the elevation that we're at. You're not going to get the greatest signature from as far away as we are, and we're about 10,000 feet up, but that's still a pretty significant circulation. And, you could say that, well, near Corinth is probably where that is. That's where you got the reds just to the right of that and the greens to the left of it. And those, when they're right next to each other, that usually means a very tight circulation. But at the altitude that we're at, that still warrants a tornado warning. So they still have that tornado warning going on there for another few minutes. And folks in Corinth, if you're able to reach us, you need to be, taking cover at this time. And like you're saying, where the most dynamics and the most wind shear and the most favorable environment, I do believe, is Arkansas here, because that storm system, it's really digging down and coming across that area. And as it's doing so, there's very strong winds in the upper atmosphere, and there's a lot of rotation. There's a lot of what we call wind shear. So I think Arkansas, it could be busy along that front. Ahead of the front, though, there's really still, if I put the lightning tracker on there, and I'm going to back out some here and put it back on our Willis Knight Mega 3 Doppler radar here. We'll go just to the regular live scan. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and put that on there. What you're looking at there, all the lightning is along the front. And Patrick, that's an indication that the cap is really strong east of the front. All the way, I mean, I'm looking as far as we can get our scan to go, and I can see lightning tracker all the way up in the northern part of Arkansas there, but our scan is reaching Conway and Little Rock, and in advance of that, there's hardly anything developing because the cap is so strong. And I keep talking about the cap. It's that lid in the atmosphere that it's just a little pocket of dry and warm air, and to get through that, you have to have some mechanism today. And to do that, because it's so strong, it's the cold front. And boy, when the cold front's doing it, you're looking at, I'm going to take the lightning tracker off now. You're looking at just severe weather all the way down that front, all the way from near I-40 from Little Rock there, all the way down to I-20, all severe. And as the front continues moving to the east, right now it's almost 4:30, so we still got a little heating of the day to go. You're going to have some thermal energy thrown in there, and a very strong wind field feeding those storms. Severe weather for the remainder of the afternoon into the evening is going to be a problem, but I do think the tornado threat will be a little bit in the northern sections here, the more organized tornado threat with perhaps a semi-discrete thunderstorms that are in the line, but they're little supercells. The southern end of the line, you'll probably get a few of those that where the storms bow out, and the kind we're used to. We call them the QLCS type. But yeah, to answer your question there, of course, I probably talked your right arm off there. That's kind of what I see there. That one cell is up near Murfreesboro. And of course, as you were stating, it's out of our viewing area there. But if we look at the velocity or the storm relative velocity, and what we're talking about is storm relative velocity, we're subtracting the movement of the storm out. And also, we're looking at it perpendicularly. And so we can't get a good handle on the actual velocity of this, but you still see the green next to the red. The green means the winds are blowing toward us, toward the radar site, and then the reds are blowing away. And there's a little bit of a gap there, but again, at that elevation, it's hard to say if that's really a tornado or not. You could look at again, looking at to see if there's any debris lofted up. I mean, some of this is going to be raindrops pulled up into that thing. And over the past few minutes, you see some blue there. That's an indication that the updraft was working. There was possible tornado, at least in radar indicated. We just don't know if it's reached the ground. We don't have any confirmation from the National Weather Service, but still, I think folks in Arkansas downstream from there, from Highway 82 north to I-30, Prescott, Hope, Fulton, going down to Magnolia, El Dorado. I think you're under the gun for the tornado threat, surefire tornado threat, versus a little farther south, hail gusty winds with here and there isolated tornado. And I'm still looking at the velocity here, the storm relative velocity, and all these storms are really packing a punch. They got a lot of wind that's coming out of them. If you look at the just the straight out base velocity of these storms, and they're kind of bright because there's a lot of wind being thrown into these storms. So if you're not looking at tornadoes, it's going to be a hail event, and it's going to be a strong gusty wind event that'll knock down some trees, perhaps mess up some structures. So, and that just looking at that, Patrick, that is just amazing. I'm going to put it on the reflectivity there. But you can see all the way down, all the bright colors indicating these thunderstorms are packing a punch. And rain-wise, you know, you recall that the last round of storms, what on Wednesday, dropped 2 to 3 inch rains, according to our KTBS 3 weather watchers. This line of storms, that's 1 hour's worth of movement right there. So from Clarksville almost to Texarkana in 1 hour. So what, you know, that's 40 some odd miles there. These are going so fast, they're not going to leave much rain behind.
Hey, Joe.
But severe weather with that kind of motion is a good possibility. Yes, sir.
So another thing I want to point out to folks as well, I was looking at our tower cams right now. Texarkana, better get ready. It's about to move into Texarkana. Severe thunderstorm warning moving in there right now. This is what it looks like at this moment as you're looking around Texarkana. Threatening skies, the low hanging, you know, like the shelf cloud trying to move on into the area, that little wall cloud moving. So you see that there. It might have some scuds with it there. Sometimes it's full. People think, oh my God, looks like a tornado. I don't see anything like that right now. So we do have that moving into Texarkana, and that is a live look, folks. That is looking off towards the northwest. And this is going to move there. I'm going to look straight up State Line Avenue up to the north right now. And this is how things are looking for you. So, again, severe weather getting ready to move into Texarkana. The other thing Joe wanted to point out is we are getting reports of hail up to 1 inch in diameter. Where is that? Well, let me go and switch and show you folks right now. So we're starting to see that. That's getting reports in from the cells over here in the northeast and east Texas, near areas near Lindell, over there in Smith County. So we are seeing some cells over in that particular area. Matter of fact, I'm going to go in here and you can take a look at areas in and around Tyler, and I'm going to try to get us a camera so that we can see how things are looking over in the Tyler, Texas area, because we have that on our 3 tower cam network as well. I'm not really sure if I have anything on the north side of town or not. Most might be on the south side. I think it is, but we will go and let you see what things are looking like there over in Tyler, Texas right now as that cell is moving in. It's going to be very interesting to see, and I'll watch this live also so that we can see how things are looking. So I'm going to go back over here. We'll take a look at this camera here. It should be jumping over momentarily to take you to Tyler, away from Broken Bow that the storms have already moved through. So this is looking on the south side of Tyler up towards where those storms are moving into Tyler. This cell here is likely producing very heavy rainfall, could be producing 1 inch size hail also over in Tyler. This is just on the western fringes of the Arklatex. Just wanted to show you this, though, just so you can see what things are looking like over in that area as that cell is moving on in. Another tower cam we'll show you there over in Tyler that shows you another vantage point. Skies are darkening there. The rain storms are going to be moving in here very fast. I'm getting other reports as well over in Tyler of nickel-sized hail over in the area of Emerald Bay. Let's see. I'm getting reports here from various individuals that report to the National Weather Service. The storm moved through New Boston. They had gusty winds for about 3 minutes, but no hail. And actually, they have rain. See, some of these areas, too, you got to realize as these cells move through, there's gaps in between them. And some areas may not see much in the way of rain going on. So National Weather Service, that tornado warning is expiring. It expires at 4:30, so that is going away for right now. But you're looking right now, again, at your Willis-Knighton Mega 3 Live Doppler radar. I'm not going to go in super close to all the roads there, but you're able to see there in Tyler, moving across there on the north side. If you have folks that are traveling today on Interstate 20 between Shreveport and Dallas, keep an eye on the weather. You're going to go through this line of storms. It's not going to be pretty either. The good news is, and I always try to fill the silver lining, it's not going to last too long, especially if you're going right at it, okay? Going with it and traveling with it, it might take a little bit longer. But a line of strong storms on your Willis-Knighton Mega 3 Live Doppler radar stretch from areas of southwest Arkansas down into parts of northeast Texas as well. We would anticipate, based on those input that you heard a moment ago. And I mean, the man knows what he's talking about whenever you deal with some of these stuffs, because he likes to look at the dynamics there that are working in the atmosphere. And the dynamics are there more so for more tornado warnings in southwest Arkansas. Doesn't mean that's going to go and end up happening for us. But again, that is something to watch and see as we work our way through the next 2 to 3 hours. This storm system is rapidly moving. In case some of you are curious and saying, well, Patrick, how soon will it be in areas east of the Arkansas? So overall, the main line is moving about 40, 45 miles per hour, okay? So having said that, so let me just go. Now, this is not going to be a true example for you, but I'm just going to go right down here at the line. It's going to move to the east at about 40 miles per hour, okay? So if it moves at 40 miles per hour, that little area that you're seeing there is going to be where it's going to be within the next hour, okay? So within the next hour, we'll just zoom in and give you a little bit of an idea. It could be close to it. I'm out in front of the line in some places. But it could be an area stretching from near Kilgore within the hour, sooner in some areas. It could be as far east as Marshall, Texas, might be as far east as Jefferson, as Falk. So right now the time, 4:31. I'm looking this here to see if it's going to be justifiable or not. By 5:30, it could be through those areas, okay? So then after that, we'll remove that off the screen. And now we're going to say, well, what about now? And again, we're going to go, remember, 40 miles per hour. That's 40. That's 80 miles per hour. You're saying, wait, it's not going to move 80 miles per hour. No, but between now and 6:30, there's a pretty good chance it could be already through Shreveport or in Shreveport between 6 and 6:30 tonight. And Joe, if you're there, I think that's pretty much what we thought would be the case, that there'd be a pretty good chance that we would see this line of storms in the vicinity of Shreveport, for example, by 5:36 or 6:30 tonight. So I'm going to be honest with you. So far, we're seeing this line of storms live up to its possibilities. We're just waiting to see how extreme those possibilities may be. They are developing. It looks like they're breaking the cap some. Whether or not they'll be able to still survive the further east they get into extreme East Texas and Northwest Louisiana. And we've seen one isolated tornado warning. Now, one of the things we're going to do, we're going to stay on for a little bit longer. But at some point here, as we get closer to 4:45, if we do not have any more tornado warnings, we will step off for a little bit so we can then get ready for our 5 p.m. newscast. But, Joe, you know, your thoughts on this here as we continue to go on through the evening. We've seen 1-inch size hail reports. We've seen some rotation. Matter of fact, here on my radar system here, I'm going to click this off, and I'm going to look a little bit there for us right now. There they are getting ready to come to the north side of Texarkana. As you're able to see the cells, we'll go in. You can see there on street level mapping that you're able to see the cell itself there right on the north side of Texarkana, the north side of the loop. Now, it's funny. If you look here, Texarkana, there's a chance most of Texarkana could miss the brunt of this storm. You can miss the brunt of it because, like we've said, you look back towards the west, there's not anything else out there right now. There's something could fill in. Don't let your guard down just yet. Let's see. Weather Service continuing their warning in effect for 5 p.m. for northern Hempstead, southeastern Howard, east central Little River, northwestern, and all for that until 5 p.m. for that area up further to the north. Possible tornado, but it's they don't have a warning out on it. So we have that one there. So you could miss out. And that's how it looks from that perspective. I'm going to go over here, Texarkana, and show you this is what it looks like. Boy, that's looks like some threatening skies there up in Texarkana as it moves. But that's on the north side of town. So downtown, we're going to watch and see to see if you actually get a direct hit by this particular cell. Right now, looks like a lot of it's going to stay north of town. So, Joe, give us your thoughts as we wrap up our coverage here over the next few minutes here, and then I'll jump back in and we'll wrap things up for the folks as well. And then obviously we're going to get ready for our 5 p.m. newscast.
Hey, all right there, Patrick. So you were talking about the forecast there, and I'm using the HRRR. It's a short-term computer model. If we go ahead and put the links to up there. This is 5:30 in Shreveport Bossier. So the way you were showing it, it's pretty steady. That cold front moving, the storms on the cold front moving to the east about 40 to 45 miles per hour puts it in Shreveport Bossier 5:30 between 5 and 6 p.m. Magnolia down toward just passing Carthage to near Nacogdoches. And as for holding together, we are starting to, the atmosphere is going to cool down a little bit as we get into the evening. But this front, strong enough here to break the cap right at the front. So our cap, it looks like any storm development in advance of the cap will be less likely as we get into the evening. But Arkansas, for you to be a little more likely because you'll have the main brunt of the upper level storm coming through your area. So the very strong winds aloft will help promote lift in the atmosphere, which will cool down the atmosphere and break the cap for you. So your tornado threat, I think, is the highest pretty much southern and eastern Arkansas here about this time of this forecast map. And like right now, you're saying Texarkana, so we're 4:30, and we're right at about Texarkana with this model. So the model's doing good here. And, you know, I think oftentimes you'll find along a cold front, that's the way you'll have it, pretty accurate on that assessment. So let's take it out in the future, getting to Ruston by 7 o'clock, Toledo Bend, Manny area, almost to Natchitoches up toward Ruston, and southeast Arkansas at 7 o'clock. And then that thing moving pretty much out of here by the time we go on the air at 9 o'clock on KPXJ CW21. Storms are going through Mississippi. In Mississippi, I think they're pretty mean there. I think that the upper level storm really winds up tight there as a drum. And so the storm activity, we're kind of right on the edge of all of this. But yeah, for development, Patrick, for severe development, it'll be right along the front here, especially as we go into the cooler evening, where the cap will get a little bit stronger outside the front. But the front is the cap breaker until you get up in Arkansas, and then the upper level storm, as cold as it is, getting colder as it goes by, will be an easy cap breaker there. As for gusty winds and hail, that'll be the primary culprits here along that front, with a couple of spin-up tornadoes just from the bowing. And then the more semi-discrete and perhaps even discrete tornadic activity would be mostly Arkansas, I do believe. So that's what I see right now. Patrick, any updates from the National Weather Service there on any warnings that you can see?
We're going to wrap up our coverage right now that we're doing just so we can get ready for our newscast. And, you know, take a look at this other shot here though, for you folks. This is Texarkana right now. Ominous looking skies there in Texarkana at this very moment. And I'm going to go and I'm going to do the camera, turn it to the west a little bit and let you see that a little bit more. But I mean, man, some threatening skies there. But however, where's the rain whenever it comes to Texarkana? Could Texarkana see rain? Absolutely. But where is the main batch of the rainfall going on? Well, I'm going to go in closer for you right now in and around Texarkana here before we wrap up our coverage and let you see what is taking place. So you're looking at Texarkana. You got yourself State Line Avenue, but most of that rough weather you're seeing is up around Watley, along Sugar Hill Road, intersection with Trinity Boulevard, just north of that area that you're able to see there. And I'm going to go and I'm going to remove some of this again so you can see things a little bit better. And you're able to notice there, right there, US 59, on the east side of US 59 there as well. Folks, I am also getting reports of, what was the size hail? Yes, $half size hail near Lindale along I-20. You don't want to drive through that stuff at all. I was just driving through that area yesterday. You do not want to drive through half-inch or half-dollar size hail. That is going to do some damage to your vehicle. And could we see that over in Shreveport? It's a possibility, but this is the heaviest size hail right now. We've got dime-size hail around Flint and Noonday over in Smith County. It looks like Smith County right now is getting hit pretty hard. Now, this is your Willis Knighton Mega 3 live Doppler radar scan showing you the very latest as far as what is going on with the location of this strong cell here. It is moving to the east. This is north of Texarkana, moving to the east towards Highway 67, U.S. Highway 67 towards Clear Lake Junction. Clear Lake Junction, you got a big cell getting ready to come into your area right now at this very moment. So we're going to go out and give you a brief overview. No tornado warnings right now, which is obviously some good news. Strong thunderstorms stretch south into parts of northeast Texas towards Gilmer. We have a threat detector that we can go and look at to see what the primary threats are in a cell. And we're going to turn that on right now. And look at this here, folks. The purples you see, the darker ones, that's large hail. Look at this large hail that's right on the northeast side of Tyler, Texas, perhaps. We're going to click on it. Now, this is probably measured elevated, but you could be looking at 2-inch size hail. We'll just say an inch, so maybe an inch and a half, but still very large hail over there in the Tyler, Texas area that you were looking at there. Back we go out, a little bit of a broader view. We're going to switch things up a little bit. I'm not seeing any rotation in these cells here right now, but we will watch and see. I'm just going to go up them now. There's a little bit. I see one right here. We'll have to watch. But again, this is very high up in the atmosphere. This is actually one I told you about earlier for you. This is north of Fulton. And this is along the Highway 355 southeast of Saratoga, maybe heading towards Columbus. This is in southwest Arkansas. There it is. It's shifted over a little bit. It's a little iffy because it's so far to the north. And the same thing on this one here, southeast of Murfreesboro. This is the same cell from earlier we were watching near Dirks. And that's moving outside of the area right now as well. But back we go to our live radar scans. Strong storm stretch from Murfreesboro. Looking here real quick. Don't see anything new to pass along to you. But folks, we're going to get ready for these storms here. Texarkana waiting to see if you're going to get hit or not. I would say Shreveport right now, there's a pretty good chance you will if these storms stay together, and they probably will. And it looks like there's forming more of a line of storms. The only thing I'm interested to watch and see, and I don't want to see if we see anything bow out a little bit. Don't want to see that at all for us. So stay with us. It looks like these storms are going to be getting ready to move into areas around Marshall, Texas, probably between now, let's just say after 5 o'clock towards 5:30. Shreveport, Bossier City area, metro area, sometime probably between 5:45 and 6:30. That's, again, based on what I've seen so far. Southwest Arkansas, southeast of Texarkana, you're talking about areas of around, let's just go and say, I'll zoom in so I can make sure I get some different names there for you. Fouke, Bradley, Stamps, if they hold together, Waldo within the next hour to an hour and a half towards Magnolia, and the East Texas area as well. It's this area down towards Toledo Bend that's a little bit iffy how much we see, but our high-resolution forecast models have been showing that we could very well see some stuff there. Folks, we've been on the air for you for the past hour and 40 minutes doing what we can do to help bring you up to date on the weather going on in the Arklatex with our street-level mapping, tracking the storms as well, and also with our Willis Knighton Mega 3 live Doppler radar for you. That's our goal, is to keep you safe, bring you the most up-to-date information, not to scare you, just to inform you about what is going on. The threat for storms does continue for us here locally in the Arklatex. Now, here's the deal. We're going to step away from all of our platforms. We'll be back on these platforms that we're on right now, meaning our Weather Channel, meaning YouTube, meaning Facebook, coming up for you at 5:30. Now, if we start to get cut-ins with tornado warnings in our 5 to 5:30 newscast, our technical crew upstairs will go and also put us back on Facebook for us to keep you up to date. We cannot do what we do without them as well. But we're going to step away right now, and we're going to see you at 5 p.m. with our newscast for you, if not sooner, hopefully not, but we will bring you more updates as needed, folks.